Olá, muito bom dia, seja bem-vindo a mais uma entrevista JE. Connosco esta sexta-feira temos Thomas Courtois, CEO da Nickel para a zona europeia. Thomas, esta entrevista, aliás, vai ser feita em inglês a partir de agora. Thomas Courtois, welcome to Jornal Económico. Thank you for taking the time to chat with us. I would begin by asking you, your brand is entering Portugal in a swiping motion. What distinguishes Nickel payment service from traditional banking services?
Well, first of all, thank you for the invitation. It's a pleasure for me to speak with you today. Nickel is pretty unique in many senses, let's say. First of all, we are a purpose-driven company, and really we came on the market in France and now all across Europe and especially in Portugal with a clear vision is how to make payment even more accessible to everyone, and how to allow people to pay and get paid in their everyday life in a simple manner and at the right cost. So clearly this is the first element of our DNA, let's say. The second is that we are a tech company, and we offer a best-in-class experience in terms of managing your account with the best-in-class app and client space on the internet. We also have a physical model because of course we are digital, but we also have a physical network of point of sale. Today we already have 340 point of sale in Portugal. So we are both digital and physical, which is quite unique in the system. And
how many points of sale in Portugal did you mention?
340 point of sale for now. And we plan to have more than 700 at the end of the year. And within 5 years, we plan to have 2,500 points of sale in Portugal.
So more points of sale than some of the traditional banking sectors in place in Portugal for decades now.
Yeah, right. That's right. Our model allows us to open massively points of sale for our customers. And this is what we've done in France already, where we have almost 7,000 points of sale. Which makes us one of the largest network in France for simple current account, and this is exactly, we plan to do exactly the same in Portugal. And maybe the last particularity of Nickel is that we are profitable since 2018, and this is quite uncommon as a fintech or as a neobank.
Well, your goal for Portugal, according to my notes, is to reach 500,000 clients. You already mentioned you intend to reach 2,500 points of sale in 5 years' time. So in 5 years' time, you plan to outnumber any bank currently operating in Portugal, but you're stopping your goal of clients at 500,000. Why is that so?
Reaching almost 500,000 customers within 5 years is already very ambitious, I think. But we won't stop here, of course, and we plan to continue our development after those 5 years. Just to tell you a few numbers, in France, we just reached 3 million customers already, and the client acquisition is developing very fast. Every year, we were launched 9 years ago in France, and every year we acquire more customers than the previous year. So we are still accelerating in France, and I hope that we will accelerate during 10 years in Portugal as well. But for the first 5 years, yes, our ambition is to have 450,000 customers in Portugal.
And you think you'll reach that goal?
Yeah, I'm quite confident. The launch, you know that we just launched our activity a few months ago. It was in mid-September, and the start in Portugal is already better than the one we had in Spain, although the country is a bit smaller. But so we are, and it's very similar to what we observed in France 9 years ago. So yes, we are very confident that we will experience the same success in Portugal than the one we had in France and Spain.
Why would you say that you're having a much quicker success with Portuguese customers than with Spanish customers? Is it at any point related to how the traditional banking operates?
Well, first of all, I think this is due to the quality of our local team in Portugal. We have a local manager who is João Guerra, and a very talented team working with him. So that's the first reason. The second reason is that I think we found very good point of sales, and very happy to provide this service to their customer and to expand and to diversify their offer for their customers. And I think that these are the two key elements of our success in Portugal.
Well, the traditional banking sector in Portugal has been consistently rising commissions and costs for account maintenance for years now. And it would be expected by some entrepreneurs in the startup ecosystem, particularly in fintechs, that they would try and accompany the competitive side of business that fintechs can offer. Some did, some went a step further and bought entire companies to claim they at some point, conquered the fintech segment. But is there still space for a business model like this in this context of great economic uncertainty?
Well, first of all, I will say that Nickel provides a very simple service, is to manage your money on your day-to-day life. So this need is spread around all the population. So the market is huge for us. And I think that the way we do it, we provide the best-in-class experience in the way to manage your money in your day-to-day life. And the second point, you raise a very important, very interesting question about inflation and especially inflation in bank tariffs. One interesting point is that, as I told you, we were launched 9 years ago in France, and we never increased our price to our customers.
Which is at 20 euros, 80 cents, approximately.
Right. It's
so 20 euros for account maintenance and 80 cents of tax.
Yeah, this price never changed within 9 years in France. Within 9 years in France, and we don't plan to change it soon. So,
but can you maintain that price? That's a very competitive price for most Portuguese customers. Can you maintain that price, or will you have to adjust it, especially when it comes to the commissions, to compete against other institutional financing institutions in Portugal? You have some competitors here.
I can say that we will do everything we can to maintain this price. Since we are growing, we are developing scale effects in terms of managing our costs. So,
but is there a risk that this price could go up in the coming years?
Well, not soon.
Not soon.
I cannot say for 5 or 10 years, but we don't plan to change it either. And on the contrary, we plan to maintain it as long as we can.
And how do you see your competitors? You have some really strong competitors operating in Portugal already. To name a few, you have Revolut, you have Moe, which is very, very integrated within especially the younger audience of fintechs. A lot of established companies already taking a giant cut of the market. Do you think you will see some customer conversion happening?
Well, all across Europe, you have a strong competition when we speak about the banking industry and about fintechs and neobanks, and you have a lot of actors, either local actors or pan-European actors like Revolut or others. But we don't fear competition. On the contrary, as I told you, we are very confident that we provide the best level of service at the best price, and so far, I mean, we were able to develop very fast our customer base, um, especially because we have a very high level of satisfaction about among our customer base, and so we have a strong word of mouth effect among our customers, meaning that the more customer we have, the more new customers we attract. So, and this is very important in the nickel business model. You know, we monitor what we call the net promoter score among our customer, which is the propension of our customer to recommend nickel to their relatives, to their friends and families. And this indicator is very high within nickel. The level of the net promoter score is plus 55, which is one of the highest in the industry. And frankly speaking, I don't know, I've never heard about a better indicator. And so that's why we are pretty confident, because we have a high level of satisfaction among our customer, and they strongly recommend nickel to their relatives. And this is the way it worked in France, in Spain, and this is the way it will work in Portugal for sure.
Thomas, do you fear that any players that are not yet operating in Portugal may soon enter the market? As we know by now, the banking sector is facing at the same time a crisis and opportunity, some might say, because there's actually a transformation occurring. And with the rising costs for account maintenance in Portugal, many people who have had traditional accounts for years are switching to new players, like your competitors or even Nickel. Do you fear some players from the United States or Ireland could be making a move this year or the next one into our market?
You said so. We have two strong trends in favor of nickel. The first one is that banks all across Europe are increasing their price. And as I told you, we didn't, and we have, I mean, we are cheaper than the other traditional banks, clearly, and our price never changed during these last 9 years. And the second trend that we see is that banks are closing branches also all across Europe, and this is also true in Portugal, to reduce their cost and to adapt to a more digital world, let's say. And we are doing the opposite, meaning that we are massively opening new point of sale to stay very close to our customer and to provide a local presence and local services such as cash deposit, cash withdrawal, the possibility to replace your card instantly if you lost the first one, etc., etc. And so this is part of and these two trends, price increase for banks and branch closures, are both, of course, very favorable for an actor like us.
But so you're not scared that other competitors like Venmo or Cash App or any other could be also joining you in Portugal soon?
Well, I'm not afraid at all, because as I told you, we are operating in a very competitive market already, and I think that competition also drives innovation, even for us, and this competition is very positive also for us, just to stay ahead of the others in terms of customer experience, bringing the best in class level of service, and this is so this is I see competition as a positive factor for us.
Well, I have one doubt though. Looking at Nickel's website, we can see SEPA transferences are free and unlimited. The account can be opened without a minimum amount, which is not the case for most accounts. And your only claim is to have a fixed price at 20 euros plus 80 cents in tax. How can you be profitable and still maintain the cheapest cost for clients? What's this formula that I imagine the banking sector is after?
Yeah, right. And this is a very interesting topic. How can we be profitable where
And so cheap at the same time?
many others are not, especially digital banks. So we have three secrets, let's say. The first one is that we have a very low customer acquisition price. As I told you, our customer acquisition massively comes from word of mouth and from the satisfaction of our current customer talking positively about Nickel to their friends and relatives, and this is for free at some point. So we have a much lower customer acquisition cost than all our competitors. The second secret is that our customer, they massively use their Nickel account as their primary account, meaning that this is the account they use in their day-to-day life, in their day-to-day life to
receive their paycheck,
receive their salary, their money, their social allowances, and this is the account they use also to spend their money daily. And with that, we also earn some other revenues, because of course the annual fee is 20 euro plus 80 cents in tax, but also we earn money when the customer pay with his Nickel card. The customer don't pay for that, but we receive revenues. So since our customer, they massively use their account, we earn other revenues in addition to the annual fee. And the last point is that you can see that we have a strong industrial platform and operating at a much lower cost than I will say an older platform, an older IT platform. So since we have a very powerful IT system, we were able to reduce the cost of operation. And so with a low customer acquisition cost, high level of revenue due to the strong usage of the account, plus low cost of operation due to our up-to-date IT system. With all this, we managed to be profitable in France, and we are able to auto-finance our development now all across Europe.
Thomas, thank you so much. We'll be right back after a short break. Estamos de volta à conversa com o CEO da Nickel, Thomas Courtois. Thomas, we were talking about your business model and how you maintain such low costs while still being profitable. Looking forward to 2023, you will mark 1 year in Portugal. We have goals set for that year, but there's also a lot happening in the banking sector internally, and not just looking at the European aspect of it. Do you think we will witness some margin of consolidation between companies, traditional bank sector and fintechs? Will we watch and witness some type of mergers happening more often? Because that's what tends to happen in a crisis.
Yeah, sure. This is what we can expect, definitely. In the traditional banking sector, we've already seen some merger in the past, and there will be some in the future, very likely. But and as far as it concerns fintechs and neobanks, we can see that the world dramatically changed over the last year due to the increased cost of capital, and it's hard for some of our competitors to fund further their development, and now they have to show that they can be profitable, and it's another story for them. And if they can't manage to show that they are ready to be profitable, of course there will be some bad surprises, some closure that we can see sometimes, but also some mergers and a piece of consolidation. Yeah.
Do you think there's a risk for some companies in the traditional banking sector to wither away, facing the competition from fintechs?
Well, not really, because fintechs are only competing on some part of the business model of traditional banks. Traditional banks have a very wide variety of services, and for Nickel, for example, we only provide a current account, a credit card to pay and get paid in your day-to-day life, but we don't provide savings, credits, insurance, etc., etc., and we only deal with private individuals. So, of course, traditional banks have a wide range of services. So, I mean, I don't see fintechs as a big threat for the traditional sector. And sometimes it can even be, on the contrary, an opportunity. And we see that many traditional banks also signs partnerships with fintechs, and that's very positive in the way that, once again, it fosters innovation on the market. So I don't see that fintechs will soon replace traditional banks, if this is the question.
How do you look at the Portuguese Parliament's proposals to try and stop the rise in banking commissions?
I've seen such initiatives in other countries as well. It's good that the government is looking to protect the most fragile part of the population, and to preserve them from inflation in general, and especially from banking tariff inflation. But at some point, there are always some limit to that kind of policy, because at some point, if banks cannot be profitable, they will have to reduce their costs and maybe to close even more branches, etc. So at some point, yes, you can try to limit the inflation, but this can have other consequences.
Do any of those consequences affect your business?
For Nickel, we are very proud of what we do. We clearly foster financial inclusion, because the Nickel account is open to everybody. We have a very universal approach. It's much cheaper than traditional banks. We never change our tariff, and we don't plan to do so. And we are still developing our business model very fast. So I'm not very worried by the situation.
Aren't you scared that by growing so much so fast, you could be, at risking doing things at a rhythm that could cost you down the future?
Yeah, maybe that we were more cautious than some of our competitors in our development across Europe. You can see that we go step by step. So we started with Spain at the beginning of 2021. We opened two new countries last year, with Belgium first and then Portugal mid-September. We will open a new market this year in Germany. So we go step by step. And as I told you, we 100% auto-finance our development. So this is only through the profit we generate that we can finance our development across Europe. and so in this aspect, this is very reliant, and so we don't spend the money of others. We just spend our own profit that we 100% reinvest.
Is that a hint at traditional banking sector? Is that what they should be doing?
Well, I think that traditional banks are generally profitable, but I've seen many fintechs raising tons of euros or dollars to develop their activity, and now they have to show some return, and it can be a strong challenge if you are not prepared to do so.
How has been your relationship with the Portuguese regulator, with the Bank of Portugal, so far?
Well, very positive. We of course we speak a lot with the Bank of Portugal, and I think that they fully understood our business model, which is quite unique once again, and I think they understand what we can bring on the market in terms of financial inclusion, to bring a very simple and useful product. So the discussions were very constructive, actually.
Any word of advice for the traditional banking sector in our country as you move forward?
Well, it's hard for me to give some advice to the traditional banks from my perspective, but I think that we are very complementary with the traditional banking sector, and that we serve a very simple need. As I told you, we allow our customer to pay and get paid every day, and so we are not that much a competitor for them, but very complementary to them.
Thomas, just one final question, and I couldn't skip past this one. Maybe out of personal curiosity or just plain importance, but 2023 will exacerbate and bring many challenges besides the macroeconomic conjunction. Looking at challenges in cybersecurity, in the rise of AI, in the rise of Web3 models, and also blockchain implemented businesses. So my question to you is, how is the fintech sector also witnessing the rise of a new, more evolved, more technologically complex, and more risky technology? Because at the end of the day, a fintech is a tech startup, like you said at the beginning of our conversation, and technology plays a big part in what makes your business model possible, standing next to traditional banking sectors. So there are challenges we will be facing this year, and I want to know, what are some of those challenges that may concern you and your company?
Well, you raise a very important point. The level of cyber fraud in general is increasing in every sector and in all aspects of our daily lives. And of course, this is a piece of concern for everybody, and this is a piece of concern for us as well. So we focus a lot of energy in securing our IT system and in protecting our customers. So we are quite lucky because we use very up-to-date technologies to do that. But we are investing every year more money to secure all our system and all our products. Plus, this is not only, we don't only do it to protect our customer and to protect ourselves, but this is also mandatory, of course. We are a regulated business, and we have a strong regulation in terms of security and fight against cyber fraud in general. Plus, we are also a subsidiary of BNP Paribas, which is one of the largest banking group across Europe, and they provide us a very strong support in this aspect, and this is very important for us.
Do you think things will change, implementing new AI tools or implementing new smart contract functionalities? Do you think some part of the banking sector will change going forward?
This is already changing. This is already happening, I think. And for us, our top priority, I will speak about nickel only, but our top priority is always increasing the level of security for our customers while keeping a very smooth customer experience. So, and it's always very tricky, to facilitate the day-to-day life of your customer while increasing the level of security. So, and this is something we are dealing with, and for sure we will deal with in the future as well.
I have one last question for you. When you first stepped in Portugal, with intentions to expand your business here, what was your first impression of the Portuguese banking ecosystem, and has any of that perception changed over time?
I have the feeling that the last financial crisis was very strong for the Portuguese banking sector, and that there is a kind of trauma about this precedent crisis, and somehow it affected the image of the banking sector among the population. And so that's why I feel that there is a kind of expectation for something new in the system, and this is somehow an opportunity we saw also specifically for Portugal.
Courtois, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us this Friday.
Thank you very much.
Obrigado também a si que esteve desse lado a acompanhar. Já sabe que pode ver e rever esta e outras entrevistas da JTE sempre que quiser, na JTE TV e nas restantes plataformas multimédia do Jornal Económico. Nós regressamos para a semana. Até lá, tenha um bom fim de semana e lembre-se que o Jornal Económico desta semana já está disponível em jornaleconómico.pt. Fique bem.